So with today being the official launch, if you're watching the video as it's been uploaded, today is the official launch of FM24. If you're struggling for a few more save ideas, I've got 6 more here. We're going to get straight into the video and let's just take a look at who we've picked. So the first team on the list, we've picked none other than Dutch giants Ajax. Now Ajax are a perfect team if you're looking for that rebuild on FM24. As we all know, over the last 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, Ajax have lost a hell of a lot of players to top European clubs. And yeah, they're in a bit of turmoil at the moment, aren't they? Now, obviously in real life, I think they're sat currently mid-table in the league. They're always in the news. There's a hell of a lot going on with the fans rioting, all sorts of business like that. And it's just a perfect job to rebuild. Now, if we look at last season, Ajax finished 3rd. And finishing 3rd in this league essentially means you're in the Europa League. So there's no Champions League football this year for Ajax. So you've got to contend with, the not so financial muscle of the Champions League. However, there is a few more problems. Now, let's take a quick look. Ajax have got £30 million in the transfer budget to spend. Now, that might seem a lot in the sense you could probably pick up a few bargains and integrate them into the team. However, looking at the wage budget, £753,000 per week. They're currently spending £753,000 per week. So there's no room in the wage budget. So if you're going to bring in some players, you're going to have to look to manage that wage budget. Of course, we've already got some great players. You've got Steven Bergwijn there at the top. And you've got a lot of players with five-star potential, not just in the first team. But if we look in the development centre, you've obviously got a lot of players there that have 4.5 5-star potential too. So you've definitely got the facilities to bring through those wonder kids. But that brings me on to the next problem. You have no staff, absolutely no staff. I have literally hired a coach, Mike Phelan, just purely to show you the ratings, the 5-star ratings, 3.5-star current ability, etc., etc. Because obviously without any staff at all, you can't see that. So one of your first jobs taking this job will be to literally fill every position of the staff. So that's going to be a challenge in itself, of course. The B team, again, got no staff. And the under-18s got no staff. So that's going to be a tough job in itself. And it's just a perfect rebuild. The second on the list, we're in England, we're in the Championship, and we've picked Sunderland. Now, I think Sunderland are just a really good team to manage in FM24. I think for a number of reasons, really. And let's just take a look. Of course, they're in the Championship, which one below the Premier League. Anyone that knows anything about English football will more than likely know Sunderland spent quite a few years in the Premier League until they had this really dodgy spell in 16-17 season. They got relegated, troubles on and off the field financially, etc. They got relegated immediately after and spent quite a few years in League One. Now, they did manage to get back up into the Championship. They finished 5th. They won the playoffs in 21-22 season. And they've just finished 6th in the Championship. Now, we're predicted to finish 7th this year. So the media think we're going to have another playoff push. We have got a team that probably could be capable of winning the league with the right tactics and the right manager, shall we say. So you could potentially get straight back up to the Premier League. But I think for a number of other reasons, it's a good, and of course we'll save the best till last, but financially they're not too bad. Of course they've only got £7 million in the bank, but for a Championship team, finances are a big thing. A lot of Championship teams do struggle, so having that in the bank already is a good thing. You've got £7 million in the transfer budget to spend if you need to tweak the team, if you need to add any additions. However, we'll get onto the squad in a minute. And the wage budget, however, £288,000 per week, but they're currently spending £285 a week. So you've got about £2,000 there to spend with, to play with per week. Now, of course, what we will touch upon quickly before we show the team is you've got your fierce rivals, Newcastle, of course. Now, that is a huge rivalry. That's just like your Man City, Man United. That's like your Everton, Liverpool. Sunderland need to be in the Premier League because they need to challenge Newcastle. And we all know about Newcastle. They've got a lot of money. They're a big oil team now. So, one of your probably challenges will be knocking Newcastle off the top. Obviously not the top of the league at the moment, but overtaking them, shall we say. And you've got a good squad to do that with. Development centre, let's have a quick look at. You have got a good number of players that have really good potential. Of course, we've got Burstow there, who's in on loan from Chelsea. Whether you can make that permanent in the summer, obviously something to look at. And then obviously in our under-18s, we've got Chris Rigg. That is a five-star potential ability. He's got a little bit of interest there from the Big Four, so it might be hard to keep hold of him. But again, if you manage to keep hold of him, he could be a player for the future. Now, of course, one of the main reasons why we picked Sunderland is because we got Bellingham. Of course, not Jude, but we've got Joe Bellingham. Of course, 5-star potential ability. 2.5-star current. He's a League One standard player. You'd probably, if you're crazy, you wouldn't. But you're going to build your team around him, aren't you? He's a centre midfielder by trade. You're going to want to build your team around Joe Bellingham for years and years to come, if no one else picks him up. But not just Joe. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players alone that are 5-star current ability. So you've got a really good young squad that is going places. So if a young, talented squad with lots and lots of wonder kids in does not excite you, then I don't know what will. But Sunderland are my second pick. At number 3, we're staying in England, but we've got a Welsh team, Wrexham. Maybe more one of the obvious ones now, Wrexham. But still, nonetheless, really good save to use in FM24. Now, of course, you're in League 2, so Wrexham have been promoted last season, so you are up into the Football League finally for the first time in 15 years. However, it doesn't stop there, of course. Probably aspirations to get to the Premier League one day, so that's your job. You've got the team. Let's take a quick look at the finances. Of course, £3.5 million in the bank. You're not projected to lose too much over the next couple of years. However, you probably immediately want to get out of League 2, so that'll all change next year anyway. Sponsorship-wise, you've got really good sponsorship. I think it's 2.7 million in total over the year, and you're only second in the league to Forest Green. So let's take a quick look at the league. Of course, Wrexham are favourites. Let's take a quick look at the sponsorship, actually. See, 2.7 million. You are just underneath Forest Green, so you've got plenty of income that way. Absolutely loads if you look, considering Morecambe have got 50k. Wrexham, of course, meant to win the league. Of course they are. So your challenge really doesn't start this season, but starts next season when you hit League 1. And then you've really got to start making those transfers, trying to play a certain way, getting up the leagues, and that'll be where the challenge comes in. Of course, if we take a quick look at the squad, we've got Paul Mullen. Start the season without him. Obviously, he's injured for a while. But yeah, you start the season with Paul Mullen. He is a championship player apparently, according to our assistant manager. So, you want to kind of build the team around him, really. And another thing I'd like to do, if I was to take on this save, is you look at the youth facilities. Of course, you're only level 3, and you've got adequate youth facilities. Now, you could potentially turn Wrexham into a bit of a wonder kid factory, if you like that kind of thing. Obviously, as you're going up the league, you'd hope the money starts coming in. You could improve your youth academy, and hopefully get through quite a lot of Welsh players, considering we're a Welsh club, really, although we're playing in the English Football League. And you could potentially, start producing some wonder kids for Wales, and then maybe, although you couldn't class it as a homegrown save, like a Build a Nation save because you're not in Wales, you could look at that side of it and think that could be quite fun as well. So you've got plenty of potential with Wrexham. They want to get to the Premier League, even the Champions League maybe. That could be your challenge. And also, with the money coming in, why not build on the youth facilities and try and get a few wonder kids through? So, yeah, that could be a really interesting save. Number 4 now, and we're back in Europe. We're in Spain. We're with Malaga. So Malaga really had a fall from grace. If we take a look at where they've been and where they are, as you can see, I don't need to explain too much of it, but they spent a lot of years in the first division. However, that's gone horrifically wrong, as they got relegated, finished rock bottom basically in the 17-18 season, and they've just continued to fall. And then last season, they got relegated to the 3rd division in Spain. Now, just as recent as 2012, 2013, so this season here, Malaga were in the Champions League quarterfinals. So, yeah, that kind of tells you how wrong it's gone, really. You're meant to go up, and if you don't go up, you probably shouldn't be playing Football Manager. But, yeah, 1.9 million in the bank. We've got nothing to spend, and we are just overspending slightly on our wage budget. So you might need to look at that when you take the club over. And of course, the projected there, assuming we stay in this league, which I imagine you won't, does not look very good. So you really want to get back up to the first division as quickly as possible. But that shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, we're predicted to finish first. The team is ridiculously good. We've got, obviously, the two players at the top that stand out most is the two 5-star potential abilities of Danny Lorenzo and Lorenzungi, we'll call him. Butchered that completely, but yeah, him. And then obviously below those two, we've still got a lot of players that are 4.5-star potentials. And we've got a lot of 3.5-star current abilities at the moment. So we've got a young squad. We've got a squad with a lot of potential. So if you can build your squad around those players as you're going up the leagues, you should be back in the first division in no time. And then you've got to capitalise on that. Get back up to those Champions League spots. Build a solid team, and then you've got to go and knock Real Madrid and Barcelona off their perch. So easy save to start with. It's going to progressively get harder and harder. I mean, let's take one quick look at the development centre, and you have got a good few players down there, a few 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds that are very good, really. And if we have a quick look at the facilities, it's all there for us. We've got a 30,000-seater capacity stadium. We've got great training facilities, and we've got great youth facilities. So we need to look to use those youth facilities, build a team from the ground up, get back to the first division, and let's knock the two giants off, shall we? So we're going to head over to Germany now with our 5th pick, FC Kaiserslautern of the Bundesliga 2. So FC Kaiserslautern play in the Bundesliga 2, and they're a fallen giant. They're another fallen giant in German football. There seems to be quite a few of them, really, doesn't there? So let's take a quick look, and you'll just see how far they have fallen. So 2010, 2011 season, they were a Bundesliga team. They got relegated straight away, and they just kept dropping. They've dropped and dropped and dropped. And they've just had a resurgence now, really. They were in the 3rd division. They finished 3rd, assuming they won the playoffs. Got back up to the 2nd division, finished 9th. And this season, they're only predicted to finish 11th. So let's take a quick look at the league. And unlike someone we've touched upon before, is in Hamburg here, they're predicted to do very, very well, really. However, Kaiserslautern are predicted to finish mid-table. So it shouldn't be easy to get straight back up, essentially. You've not got an amazing team. You've got a decent team. Probably mid-table is quite fair. However, you have got a few players with decent potential. You've also got a development centre where you have got a couple of players in the second team that are 4.5-star current ability. So perhaps developing them and also looking towards the facilities. Now, good youth facilities, not perfect, of course. You know, you could get a lot better, but they're not the worst. So maybe looking towards a bit of both, using, you know, your academy to bring some players through, but also trying to get those players in from outside the club to get you back up to the Bundesliga to then knock the big giants off their perch. And while you're doing that, you'll be doing that in a 50,000 capacity stadium. So providing you get the fans through the door, which you probably have to wait till you get back up to the Bundesliga, you could be bringing in quite a decent amount of money per month. So, you know, the facilities are there and the structure's there to start. I mean, let's just take a quick look. You've got the projected there of it looks to increase year by year. So it's all set up nicely to get promoted at some point. Hopefully the first season, definitely the second season, in my opinion. And then make that charge forward to win the Bundesliga and get back in the Champions League. Let's take a quick look at the honours. And as you can see, they are a team that's won the Bundesliga 4 times, in fact. They've won the German Cup twice. and they've won the German Super Cup. So they have done it. They have been there in the past, but you just need to get them back there now. Last but not least, I've really tried to think outside the box with this pick. In Romania, we're with the original Steaua Bucharest. Now, I've really tried to pick a different team than just an obvious one for the last one. I just thought, why not have a little bit of fun? We've chose a team with a little bit of history. It could get quite confusing, so I'm going to try and explain this best I can. Now, the team we're going to take over is known as Steaua Bucharest, this team here. So a lot of you that know Steaua Bucharest as the team in the Europa League, the Romanian sort of champions of years and years and years, quite a major club in Romania. You're talking about this club. If we just quickly show you, FCSB. Now, the history behind this, so we go back to our original club. The history behind this is, up until 2003, this club was Steaua Bucharest. Now, for some reason, come 2003, the other team used the Steaua Bucharest logo, the brand, unlawfully. Now, up until a few years ago, this team we're looking to take over took the rights back. They started afresh down the leagues, and they've been promoted, and they're now in Division 2, or the second league, as it's called in Romania. So what I'm trying to say is, this is Steaua Bucharest. This is the team with all the history, the team that won the Champions League in 1986, won the Super Cup in 1989, I think it was. 1986 as well, sorry. They've got the record for the Romanian First Division Leagues, 21. They've got the record for the Romanian Cups, 20. They've probably got, they are the club of Romania with the big, big history. However, they're not allowed to be. They're in Romanian Second League. They are, they're really intriguing, actually. I've been reading up on this, and maybe I'll put a link in the description, or just, sort of Google it yourself. But it really is quite interesting. Now, I thought this was a great save because you take them up, don't you? You take the team up from the second division where they are currently. As you can see, Steaua Bucharest there. We are predicted, let's have a quick look, to finish 7th. So mid-table, just outside the playoffs kind of thing. So, yeah, the challenge is to get first and foremost back to the first league. Obviously, to overthrow are probably what we would be calling our main rivals, really, and win the title, make number 22 on the title, get back into Europe, get back into the Champions League, and win it for the second time. That would be the ultimate challenge, I think, here, because we're looking at I don't even know what you'd call them, the old Steaua Bucharest that are favourites for the title. Have they just previously won it? They didn't win it last year. They've been runners up for a few years. But yeah, it's just quite an interesting save, I thought, if I'm honest. We've not got the finances, as you can see. We've not got any sponsorship. We've not got any debts at least. However, we're projected to, turn a red, negative, balance-wise, not good. But the team, however, doesn't look too bad. We've got a team there to build upon. So I just think it's a really interesting save, if I'm honest, guys. You're taking a team basically that had its glory days in the late 80s. They won the Champions League. They're one of the only teams to win the Champions League outside of the top 6 divisions. So I think they're really interesting. I think if you're looking for this kind of save in a lesser known European league, getting them back up to the top, getting them to the Champions League, this is the perfect team without a doubt. But I hope you like my 6 picks for teams. Let me know if you'd like to see another video where I go away, do a little bit of research and find out some really interesting teams to again pick. But I thought, why not show you six more teams that, today's the day, that FM24 is officially launched. So why not show you 6 teams that I think you could potentially take over and really have an enjoyable save. So hit the thumbs up if you did enjoy the video, if you really like my picks, and comment what other teams you probably pick yourself if it's none of the ones I've suggested. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.